Well, for years, our fair city was known as the oil capital of the world, but that's not the only title bestowed on Tulsa. Jack Frank with Tulsa Films is here to share more about America's most beautiful city. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. So this, I recall some talk about this. What was the story behind it?
So Tulsa kind of branded itself. Nobody bestowed that title on Tulsa, but Tulsa started calling itself America's most beautiful city. It's kind of a public relations effort, and it stuck. And Reader's Digest printed an article in 1957.
Well, check
which
this
you
out.
Have.
Where did you get this actual?
I think I ordered it online because I wanted to read the article.
Okay.
This was years ago, but you can find those on eBay, of course. But it's from the May 1957. No, yep, May 1957.
June of 1957,
Yep.
Reader's Digest version.
And the article is titled "Where Beauty is Everybody's Business," but it talks about how Tulsa is one of the world's most beautiful cities.
Right, right. We have some video that we're gonna go through and kind of show, because there are so many cool things. I mean, I think a lot of people are clearly we look at our landscape, our downtown now, but this was back in the day.
And one of the reasons that it talks about that we're so beautiful is we had natural gas powering factories that most East Coast cities didn't have.
Right. So we didn't have the smoke and plumes.
And it talked about how the airport, the first thing, if you're a visitor, you see the airport, which was beautifully landscaped by the Tulsa Parks Department, took care of the grounds at the airport. It talks about, this article points out that Tulsa washed its streets every night. Mm-hmm. This is, and the Tulsa Rose Garden won lots of awards. The Tulsa Garden Center is still there. Tulsa Rose Garden doesn't have the roses that it once did, but it was renowned for its gardens at the Tulsa Garden Center. In Utica Square, won a national award from a landscaping group for its beauty and for its landscaping. It was true, the article says, where beauty is everybody's business, and Tulsa really did have civic pride in the way it looked. Even corporate office buildings, industrial buildings,
right.
They went all out. The Chamber of Commerce, as pointed out in the article, had a committee to help businesses learn how to landscape their properties and how to become more beautiful.
Isn't that neat?
It really, I mean, so in a way we had a lot more pride back then, maybe in our buildings and in ourselves. The streets were meticulous. Everybody,
I love that little boy.
I think the article said there were 140 garden clubs, and they would meet at the garden center down there on Peoria, and everybody was doing whatever they could to make the city beautiful. One year there were 100,000 dogwood trees planted in the city.
Wow.
So it was a big civic effort, and Tulsa was proud of itself and used that moniker, America's most beautiful city.
I just love all these old films, because you look back and you just see how people dressed and how they interacted.
And this was a time also we didn't have Best Buys and all that, so people would have to specifically go to maybe the garden center and buy flowers there to plant in their yards. And of course, when I came to Tulsa, the Woodward Park was real beautiful, was always decked out with azaleas. People may not remember that. If you're new to the city, you're probably not aware that Utica Square had that many flowers. Or I'm sorry, that
Woodward Park had that many flowers. And I think that, for those of us who grew up here and went to school here, that's where you had your senior pictures taken. That's where you went and had, any kind of prom pictures taken. I was curious about that.
That was a tulip garden center, a tulip farm, I guess you'd call it. And this is some photos from or a video from the 1980s or 90s.
I would think that's,
Woodward Park, which a lot of people, again, today may not remember when it had, springtime was always packed at Woodward Park.
It's kind of a shame, too, because you have this beautiful, that the history is there.
Right.
Just wish we could maybe revitalize that a little bit.
Right, and it seemed like it was all an effort done by ourselves to say, let's get out there and make this city beautiful.
Beautiful. Very intentional.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we've kind of gotten a little bit away from, it's more all about us ourselves instead of all about the community.
Absolutely. I think you're right.
It's always good to see Jack, and if you'd like more information, you can log on to tulsafilms.com. We've got all sorts of information there, plus the videos and DVDs that you can buy and purchase. Or if you have stuff that Jack could use.
Absolutely. Look us up on tulsafilms.com. contact us, and we'd love to see your films.
That'd be awesome. Thanks, Jack. We'll see you again next month.
Thank
I
you.
love it. Love it.